So a hearty welcome to you if you've just joined us. Welcome along on the Birelart UK Series Facebook page or on Downforce UK on Spreaker, wherever you are. It is a fantastic day of race action here. We had all of the testing sessions yesterday, and that gave us some interesting indications as to what we're going to see over the course of the next few hours. But it's Birelart cadets that are out on circuit first, and they are going to give us some absolutely terrific qualifying action over the next 8 3/4 minutes. So the battle will begin. Yesterday it was all about Ella Stevens, fastest in both of the practice sessions, but the championship leader heading into this round is the number 5, Nathan Tighe, after his success in the final at Llandau last time out. So we move from Wales to Dorset, and the beautiful Frome sunshine is absolutely fantastic here as we get ourselves underway on Jenson Button's old hunting ground. So as the drivers get themselves underway for the action here, it's going to be a really exciting battle for each of the drivers in qualifying, as well as the established drivers. There's also the rookies. Good luck to Hudson Cross, number 100 from Sarah Cross, watching at home. It's going to be some absolutely brilliant race action for him. He's done very well so far, actually. In practice yesterday, he was very, very competitive. Watch these two out front. We've got the 5 and the 9. Nathan Tighe and Oakley Keatley working together. They've been basically helping each other out most of this weekend. They're good mates on and off the track. They've been working together to get their speed up in practice, and it looks as though they're working in tandem here today for the qualifying session as well. Ella Stevens sets the initial pace of 39.796. Very fast stuff in the early phase of the action. So great to see her putting in a fast lap straight away as the battle continues. The rookies are starting to really move their way up the order as well. Some good moves over the course of the sessions from Craig Evans, who didn't quite join the warm-up session earlier, had to do a separate warm-up of his own, hence our little bit of a delay. But Craig Evans has been very much looking forward to this one. He ran very well in practice sessions yesterday, and anyone who was listening along to the Downforce UK feed yesterday would have heard our interview with him. But at the moment, it's Ella Stevens who tops the timesheets from Nathan Tighe and Oakley Keatley, who are working together out front. Kylan Ingram in 4th place. Charlie Humphreys and Callum Lockett from Jamie Gurney and Aidan Hassan. Then it is the first of the rookies, Archie Heron from Craig Evans. And then we have Jamie Scott. Lily Jeffs is in the mix as well from Hudson Cross, Chase Sharp, Josh Turnbull, Jamie Warner and Jake Bell. So good to see Ella Stevens at the front at the moment, but only by 0.03 of a second now. Oakley Keatley is getting faster. Make that 0.05 of a second. My apologies. Oakley Keatley has done a time that is just 0.054 slower than Ella Stevens in qualifying. And with only 6 minutes left in qualifying, it's going to be very, very close in the Birelart cadets. Ella Stevens is on her own, banging in lap times at the moment, trying to pound around with the new graphics kit she's got on her kart for this weekend. Really great to see the Immunage colours all over her machine as she runs out in formation at the front of qualifying. But Oakley Keatley and Nathan Tighe working together, trying to get the time down. There are a couple of the rookies. That's Chase Sharp and Hudson Cross having a good run around the circuit together. And they were doing a very good job right from the beginning of the academy yesterday. Of course, we have the Cadet Academy every time we go out for a championship round. You can, if you're a youngster and you've never done the Birelart UK Series before and you are of cadet age, you can attend the Cadet Academy on the Saturday morning of each round of the championship, beginning at 9 o'clock, and it's only £100, so it's actually £99 actually. So the drivers can attend it, get a bit of training from the guys who know, and obviously if you like it enough, you can even, if you're of age, enter the race the next day if you wish to, as many drivers have done in the Cadet Academy over the last year and a half. Ella Stevens completes another lap, and her time is now a 39.642, so she is going slightly quicker. And that's really good news from her. Oakley Keatley on a 39.657 is not far away. Then it's Charlie Humphreys up to 3rd place. Nathan Tighe is 4th from Kylan Ingram and Jamie Gurney. Then we have Callum Lockett, Archie Heron, Aidan Hassan, Craig Evans, Jamie Scott, Hudson Cross, Lily Jeffs. Then we have Josh Turnbull. And then in behind it's Chase Sharp, Jamie Warner and Jake Bell. Still making up time, still making up progress. Jake Bell, one of the newer drivers in the championship. So all still going well. Now the established guard out in front. The drivers from last year are at the sharp end of the field. Stevens, Keatley, Tighe, Humphreys, Ingram, Gurney and Lockett in that order. Archie Heron, the rookie, slightly quicker than Aidan Hassan, who didn't have the greatest of days yesterday, but he's starting to make the progress back again, and he's got that speed that we're used to seeing from him. But the man who's really impressing at the moment is Archie Heron, the rookie driver. This is only his second race meeting, and the 59 is going very well indeed, it has to be said. Now mixing it in with the top of the tree. So things going very well indeed as the drivers are working their magic around the circuit. Melissa Zaffino wishes Callum Lockett a good luck and good racing here today. 4 minutes to go, and to be fair, Callum Lockett is right up there in 7th position on the timesheets at the moment. Not the only one. A good luck to Jake Bell sent in from Martin Lee. And Jake Bell is not doing a bad job, actually, considering the progress he is making. A 45.3, he is going faster and faster every time he goes out on the circuit. So fair play to Jake Bell. He is working his magic beautifully as things currently stand. And of course, there's a lot of support this weekend for the lady at the top of the tree at the moment. Wayne Clark saying, good luck, Ella. Ella Stevens is having a really good season in 2018. She won the Cadet Championship last year. She's been fighting for supremacy since this new season started. And alongside her national campaign, where she's in the top 20 drivers in Britain at the moment as a privateer entry at national level, she's come back to her beloved Birelart Championship. She loves it very dearly. And as the reigning cadet champion, she is getting faster and faster with every time she goes out. And even up against drivers a couple of years older than her, she is still incredibly quick. So 2 minutes 45. Ella Stevens out in front in qualifying. There's a lot of battles further back, though, for the likes of Oakley Keatley in the 9 and Nathan Tye in the 5, as they are working together to try and move forward. There's Ella Stevens coming out of the final turn with Craig Evans in pursuit. Ella Stevens, one of the hottest young talents, and I think the youngest female national champion in British karting, age 10. I don't think there's been a national champion as young as 10 years old of the female persuasion. The only other one I can think of at national level who's won a major title is Abby Pulling, who won the Junior TKM in the same season last year at the age of 14. So very impressive stuff from Ella Stevens. But the rookie's doing a fine job. We've also got Chase Sharp battling it out there with Josh Turnbull just in behind Ella Stevens. Watch these two work together, though. Nathan Tye and Oakley Keatley working together as they run round the circuit and having a fantastic day of it as they are there in 2nd and 3rd position, working together, clearly helping to try and catch up to the fast lady, Ella Stevens. Charlie Humphreys going well in 4th position as well. This is a much stronger weekend from Charlie. We expected him to be fighting for the title right from the off. He had a difficult weekend at Landau, but here at Clay Pigeon, he seems to have found his fighting form once more. Got to keep an eye on Kylan Ingram as well. He's right in the mix in 5th position at the moment, only 3/10 back. He has a little bit of a disadvantage over some of the other drivers because his height is a bit of an issue. He's a bit tall compared to some of the other drivers, but he still loves his cadets. He's just waiting with bated breath for his moment to move up to the juniors, but he's still one of the top drivers in cadets and spent a lot of Landau having some cracking battles, and it's great to see him in the mix fighting for positions. Jamie Gurney looks like he's finally got his speed back. He's still a little way off the pace where he wants to be, but good to see him there in the top 6, still battling away. Jamie Gurney hoping for a lot more from this weekend, and he's got the speed and the capabilities to do it. From 6th position on the grid, that will be a nice position for him to be in. Absolutely fantastic stuff thus far. And considering that Oakley Keatley is doing so well, we should point out that he's got a bit of a fan club at home. Good luck, Oakley. Mum, Josh and Roxy are having a great time watching as we count down the final few seconds of the session, and to see him on the front row is very encouraging indeed at this point. Only 0.015 away from Ella Stevens' best time, so Oakley Keatley very much with an opportunity to move his way forward this time. So the fan club in earnest everywhere around the circuit then for various different drivers as they're all in there battling for positions. We are live here on the Birelart UK Series Facebook page, courtesy of Alpha Live, and of course on the Downforce UK radio stream on Spreaker as well. If you can't make it to watch Facebook in your cars or anything like that, or you want to listen to it on the way home if you're a driver, the checkered flag comes out very shortly indeed. It does so now at the finish line, and that is the end of qualifying. So the times are going to remain. Keatley and Tye will stay 2nd and 3rd. Ella Stevens is not going to improve. I'm not sure if there's going to be any last minute changes to really push drivers up through the field, but I think we're going to remain at that. So Ella Stevens is going to be the fastest driver from qualifying, and that means that she will start the first race of the weekend from the front. So Ella Stevens pole position, Oakley Keatley in 2nd, Nathan Tye in 3rd, from Charlie Humphreys in 4th, Kylan Ingram in 5th place, then Jamie Gurney in 6th, Callum Lockett in 7th from Archie Heron in 8th place. Great work from the rookie. 9th is Aidan Hassan. 10th is Craig Evans, another top rookie there. Then the rest of the field are rookies. Lily Jeffs, Jamie Scott, Hudson Cross. Then we've got Josh Turnbull in there, and then we have Chase Sharp, Jamie Warner, and the ever-improving Jake Bell, who's made a lot of progress this weekend, and good to see him moving their way through the field. Don't be disheartened, fans of Jake Bell, who are hoping for a really good run. But everybody has to start somewhere. I can remember a few drivers that far back in terms of their lap times, and by the next season they were fighting for victory. So you've only got to look at Callum Lockett, who had a similar run last season. Was a few seconds back, and now this year is right on the pace. So very encouraging stuff. Good luck to Jake. Love Mum and Jaden watching at home. They're going to get an awful lot of good stuff out of him today, I think. So Ella Stevens is on top of the tree in the qualifying session. She goes fastest from Oakley Keatley, Nathan Tye and Charlie Humphreys, with Kylan Ingram, Jamie Gurney, Callum Lockett, Archie Heron, Aidan Hassan and Craig Evans rounding out the top 10 in front of Lily Jeffs and Jamie Scott, Hudson Cross, Josh Turnbull, Chase Sharp, Jamie Warner and Jake Bell. So that is the running from the qualifying session, and that is how they will start the first race of the weekend. So Ella Stevens will start race 1 from pole position. Alongside will be Oakley Keatley. So really exciting stuff from the drivers. Now we move on from the Birelart cadets, moving on to the juniors.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Glorious scenes here at Clay Pigeon Raceway as we get ourselves underway for the Birelart UK Series Juniors, live on the Birelart UK Series Facebook page via Alpha Live, and of course on the Downforce UK radio stream on Spreaker as well. Great stuff from the drivers, and one man who's very, very disappointed that he's not racing this weekend, Zach Parkinson, is watching at home. Sad not to be there. Good luck to all my mates. See you at the next one. Oh, darn it. I thought you would get rid of him. Anyway, no, he's going to be back to his best, Zach Parkinson, next time out at Fullbeck. So make sure you get as many championship points on the board as you can, guys. And I'm sure that Zach Parkinson will be trying to take a few off you when he returns to the championship at Fullbeck. There are a few drivers away for this weekend, unfortunately, for the Birelart Juniors. It is exam season. We have to bear that in mind. Drivers, of course, making sure that their education is paramount. This is a national karting championship, of course, but you do have to make sure that your exams are a main focus, and a couple of drivers, unfortunately, have exams clashing at exactly the wrong moment from their point of view. So it's going to be a really interesting race with a couple of those absentees. So far in the practice sessions, it's been incredibly unpredictable. But we've had a few drivers consistently in the top 5 over the course of the sessions. In particular, Toby Baldry, the number 9, who seems to be in the front 5 in pretty much every session thus far this weekend. And he seems to be one of the drivers who's going to be a real thorn in the side of his opposition. However, there are a couple of other drivers who are having a really strong weekend in terms of pace. Sam Cunliffe, the E-plate, is one of them. Jack Rigg is having an amazing weekend thus far, right up in there in the top 5 and going beautifully with it. And then, of course, we have Ben Gartside, who's having a really strong weekend for pace as well. But one of the things we've noticed about the juniors this year is that from one session to the next, from one circuit to the next, no order is the same from session to session. And that's brilliant because it means unpredictability is going to be paramount. In the 4th session yesterday, the fastest of all was the 100 of Tom Davison, who's here this weekend with his new MetSource graphics kit on the kart, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And his close rival and friend Harry Graham is also one of the drivers who's been at the sharp end, but it's been incredibly unpredictable throughout, so we still don't really know how the battle is going to be this weekend. We were talking about Jack Rigg a little earlier on. Jenny Rigg has just sent us a message. Sorry we can't be there. Love, Mum and Abby. And I'm sure Jack will have a fantastic weekend at the office in order to make up for it. So Jack Rigg is ready for the action. Yes, it's always great when the PA system is right next to the pit lane, isn't it? The embarrassment factor is right there for all the drivers to see. Are there any nicknames from home that we should know about? No, don't go that far. Anyway, so the drivers are getting themselves ready for the action. We have a couple of new recruits in the championship in the last couple of rounds. Of course, stepping up from cadets, we've had the number 124, Tom Harvey, who made his debut in the class last weekend at Landau, last time out. And the first time out this weekend for the 101, Dylan Brierley, making the step up from cadets up into juniors as he is now of age and is ready to go racing at this level. And he has absolutely loved it, having made the step up. It seems to be exactly the right choice to move up into the juniors. So things are going very well from his point of view. There's another one who's moved up from cadets this year, and that is the number 98 of Louis Ross, who again really seems to have hit his stride moving up into the juniors. He's having a lot of great racing over at Landau, and here this weekend he should be very strong and on the ball as well. But there's a few drivers to keep an eye on. We're all hoping for a little bit more luck from Morgan Cole, who's had an absolute nightmare of a season thus far. Really struggled at Landau. Yesterday wasn't much better, to be fair, so hopefully this is where we're going to break his kart in half, find out it's got bad luck written through it like Blackpool Rat, put it back together, and he'll be absolutely fine again. Nicky Taylor's one to watch this weekend as well, the number 4. He's been very strong and threatening very strong pace from the off. But another man who always ceases to amaze me in this championship is the number 90, Dylan Reed. He doesn't really do the entirety of the sessions because he has school on Saturday mornings, so he has to dash from wherever he is at that point and then run to the circuit. Fortunately, he's quite close to the circuit here, so he joined in from session 3 yesterday, but was fast straight out of the blocks because he knows this place very well, of course. So good to see how Dylan Reed is going, and he is very much a threat for the podium this time out, as he was last time at Landau, of course, when he charged his way forward and ended up on the rostrum in the final. An amazing performance from Dylan Reed. A few more laps and he might have won the whole thing. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the top-level drivers in this field. There's a lot of other drivers to consider. Scott Huntley is always going to be a factor, of course, the number 6, 6th in the championship last year, hence the number, carrying those fantastic McLaren tribute colours of the Ayrton Senna 1988 McLaren, which is his favourite car, and of course Senna being his favourite driver. The rookies are doing well, of course, we shouldn't forget about them. Alicia Parmowski, one of the top new drivers in the championship, still only 11 years old, one of the youngest in the class. She turns 12 in September, so she is one of the youngest people in the junior championship, but she's been testing the car for an entire year coming into this season, so she's well prepared for it. There's plenty of other new faces in the junior championship in 2018 as well. Vijay Ramlal, the number 99, who's been very strong over the course of his testing program last year, came in at the last round of the championship in 2017 at Wilton Mill and already proved his mettle there. Landau was a good weekend from his point of view. The pace has been difficult to find at Clay Pigeon thus far yesterday, but I have a feeling that in qualifying he will turn his game around and be right on the money once again. It's been good to welcome back into the championship after a leave of absence Connor Stanton, who last racing in the championship as a cadet, of course, wasn't racing in 2017, came back for this year as a junior, and he's been a really interesting threat for this championship season so far. He's been putting it off some great overtaking moves. One of the man who's leading the championship, though, well, Callum Gunning, of course, swept all before him at Landau a few weeks ago for the first round of the championship. This weekend, at least in practice yesterday, he's been struggling. It's very close because we've got the entire field covered by just under a second pretty much, and it's going to be an interesting one because Callum Gunning was about 3 or 4 tenths of a second off the pace in the preliminary practice sessions yesterday, but he's sure to find it in qualifying today. I wonder if they might have been sandbagging coming into today, because a lot of drivers will do a few bits and pieces here and there in practice, but Saturday practice doesn't really tell us everything about what we're going to see in the races itself, because it just leaves us a few more unanswered questions. So there's going to be some really interesting puzzles to unravel. Then, of course, there's the other rookie in the field, Lewis Berry, who's been very strong and very competitive over the course of Landau. He was very strong with some good overtaking moves and great in the battle. But I have a feeling at Clay Pigeon, where slipstreaming is obviously going to come into effect, there'll be a few choice overtaking moves. Lewis has proven he's absolutely no stranger to danger, puts himself in a lot of good positions to make those overtaking moves happen, and he's really crafty with it. So I'm sure he's going to handle himself very well indeed in the top 6. If he gets an opportunity to be there at the front end of the field, he's going to be difficult to knock down the order. So there's a lot of very incredible talent drivers within this field. They're all incredibly skilled drivers, and it's very hard to know who's going to be at the front, because whoever was in last place at the last session tends to be near the front in the next one. It's incredibly even. All of these drivers have a chance to win. This could be one of the most fascinating qualifying sessions of the season, because this is Clay Pigeon. It's a short circuit. There's only about 35 seconds for the lap. So everybody is going to be absolutely on their A game in this qualifying session, and it's going to be hard to predict. So the drivers are going to really focus on this one. It will be very tough. Catherine Huntley watching for Scott Huntley and Louis Ross out on the grid. This is going to be such a difficult qualifying session to predict, even more so than the cadets and the senior elites. This is going to be a tough one because it has been so competitive. It's been very tough to call which drivers are doing better than the others out there. And as we keep saying, from one session to the next, it's been incredibly tough to call. Now, as we get underway for the qualifying session for the juniors, one of the cadets has come up, and one of the top cadets has come up actually, finishing his session in 10th position. It's Craig Evans. Craig, good to see you. That looked like a pretty good qualifying session from my point of view. How did you feel?
Start the engine, so we had to get a new part fitted. So, good thing the quali went quite well. I'm happy with second fastest rookie. Hopefully I can get past Archie to try and get fastest rookie this time.
There's a lot of battles within battles in this class, isn't there? Because everybody's very closely matched and everybody wants to move forward, but the 5th row of the grid is not a bad place to start from.
No, it's not. But I think this is the better track because most of the rookies are up with the established drivers, so it's not just one group of established drivers and a group of rookies. It's everyone mixed up, so it should be an interesting race.
Okay, good stuff, Craig. Good luck with it.
Thanks.
So it is going to be very interesting as the day goes on, as we thought it would be. There will be some absolutely terrific racing once the qualifying sessions end. We're not far away from that, actually, because obviously we've got 8 minutes of qualifying here for the juniors. Then we'll have the Super Elites session, which we'll talk more about when we get to it. But there will be some absolutely fantastic races to come as things get underway. Jamie Sharp has wandered over as well. It's going to be an interesting race for you, Jamie, because that was a very close qualifying session with all of the cadets. How is it going at the moment?
It's going pretty well at the minute, but as soon as we get into the races, it'll be going even better.
So this is a very early part of the season. You're still getting used to the kart, the drivers. How are you feeling at the moment?
A bit okay and a bit nervous at the same time. So I'll get ready for it.
And obviously the field is very competitive, but you've been able to make friends with the other drivers, even the ones that have been racing here for a while, really quickly. It's a nice environment to be in.
Yeah, it's a really nice one.
Excellent. So what's your target for this season? I mean, are you just focusing on being the top rookie, or do you think there could be a podium or two by the end of the year?
Maybe I could, and I couldn't. I don't know. I could get third if everyone crashes or something. Maybe. I don't know.
Awesome. Well, good to talk to you, Jamie. Have a great race today.
You too.
Well, that's not going to be hard. I always have a good race. I was doing the maths yesterday, actually, and I figured out that during the course of the Landau weekend, I hit my 100th live commentary for the Birelart UK Series, because there was 96 races last year with 4 different classes. There are only 3 classes this year, but I'll tell you why that's not really a problem in my book a little bit later when we get to the Super Elite session. But this is already being very, very strong indeed for Harry Graham. He's been in the top 5 for most of this weekend, and he's there at the sharp end at the moment with Tom Harvey in second place. Tom Harvey is right up in P2 at the moment. That's an incredible turn of speed from Tom. Newbie to the championship in 2018, having stepped up from cadets last year, and Tom Harvey is right up there at the front. And then comes Callum Gunning. I did wonder if yesterday he was sandbagging a little bit, and it looks like he was. Callum Gunning has gone to the top. He is 0.026 in front of Louis Ross, another of the cadets who stepped up and is doing an absolutely amazing job. So this is a really strong start to the weekend, but Callum Gunning is on the top spot at the moment with Jill, Nan and Grandad all watching from home. And this is going to be a really interesting session. Look at how close it is in the top 3 at the moment. Graham goes back to the top, a 35.008. Then it is Gunning from Louis Ross, Scott Huntley up to P4, Tom Harvey in 5th, Nicky Taylor in 6th place. Then it is Toby Baldry. Then we have Sam Cunliffe, the E-plate, in 8th position. Tom Davison is 9th, and Dylan Reed is in 10th. Then it's Ben Gardside from Jack Rigg. Alicia Barmowski going well in front of Morgan Cole. Then it's Dylan Briley, the newbie, fresh into the juniors this weekend. Then we have Connor Stanton, Vijay Ramlal, and then Lewis Berry in the 80 is in 18th at the moment. Really interesting, some of the changes that have been made overnight. And again, the order is slightly different from what we saw yesterday. Amazing that from session to session we get a completely different order in the time practices. So we're never really quite sure who is going to have a strong run over the course of the weekend. A good friend of the championship, Amy Jurger, is watching at home. Good luck, Alicia. It's exam season for Amy as well, obviously being a student of the Silverstone University Technical College. So sadly, Amy Jurger is not going to be racing in the Super Elites this weekend, but I'm sure she'll be back in time for Fullbeck. Great battles in this qualifying session already, and a few changes as Harry Graham is at the top, Callum Gunning in second, from Louis Ross, Toby Baldry, Scott Huntley and Tom Harvey in the top 6. Really exciting stuff. Nicky Taylor 7th, then it's Tom Davison, Sam Cunliffe, Dylan Reed, Ben Gartside, Jack Rigg, Alicia Barmowski, Morgan Cole, Dylan Briley, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal, all covered by a second, with Lewis Berry only a couple of tenths further back. Brilliant stuff. Really exciting battles. While we've got a little bit of time still to kill, let's have a word with Archie Heron, actually. Archie's had a really good session just then. Archie, really good start to the weekend and top rookie. You must be really happy with that.
Like, sometimes you just have to push the car to its limits to get, like, top rookie and everything. Sometimes you might not do as well, but you try your best, you can always succeed to get your places in the final. And sometimes in the final you might come first, second or third. But whatever place you come, it doesn't matter. You've tried your best to race.
And you're not far off the top 6 pace as well either, so not only are you looking at potentially being the top rookie, you could hit the top 6 today.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like I could. If I keep on pushing the car and I pick my moments to overtake, I'll try my best to get in the top 5 or 6.
Good job, mate. Well done so far.
Thank you.
And another one of the cadets has come up as well, another of the rookies, Josh Turnbull. Josh, this has been a good start to the weekend for you as well. The pace looks really good at the moment.
Yeah, it's lucky that I've got some 41s around this track. I thought I'd get some 40s, but...
Well, you've settled into the championship really well. I don't think it's going to be too long before you're regularly in the top 10. Do you think it's achievable today?
Yeah, I think it is.
Good man. Well, have a good race today. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff thus far then from the cadets. We got a really good crop of rookies in 2018. More rookies than established drivers in the 2018 season, and that means it's going to be very, very short a time indeed before we see them battling away for victories. So as the racing continues here for the pole position, we've got less than 2 minutes to go in the session, and we're going to have some really exciting battles as things currently go. A lot of motivation for the drivers from home as they battle away for position. Wayne Clark rooting for Callum Gunning back at home. Come on, Callum, P1, he's not far from it. 0.095, that's not a lot to find, but it's very hard to find round here at Clay Pigeon. It's only a 35-second lap, so very, very tough to find that little bit of extra. And as you can see on your timing screen, just off to the left of your picture, if you're watching on the Birelart UK Series Facebook page, everybody in this field is now covered by less than a second. That is absolutely amazing when you consider how close it is this year. But Harry Graham is on the top spot as we head into the last minute. Gunning, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Harvey, Taylor, Davison, Cunliffe and Reed in the top 10. And that whole section of drivers has a whisker of over 0.4 of a second between them. Then we got Ben Gartside, Jack Rigg, Alicia Barmowski, Morgan Cole, Dylan Briley, Lewis Berry, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal, all within the mix. Try and pick a winner from that lot, because I certainly can't. Brilliant stuff. It's going to be so close, but starting from the front is definitely going to be a key element, and that's why qualifying is so important here at Clay Pigeon. You've got to be absolutely on your A game, and the senior elite drivers will be watching this session very, very attentively, because they'll be trying to move their way further forward, and this is going to be very hard to predict. So with a few seconds left of the session, we're going to get the Birelart Juniors grid sorted out for the first heat very shortly indeed. Morgan Cole shaking his head down the main straight. He's really struggling to find that ultimate pace. He's only 0.6 back, but in this session that is very, very hard to find, as we keep mentioning. We're in the final couple of seconds now. 2, 1, time up, checkered flag out, and Harry Graham is going to be on the top spot if he remains where he is. Callum Gunning coming through, his last chance to get the top spot. Not this time, but the front row of the grid looks pretty stable for him. Toby Baldry trying to find that little bit extra, and he has made an improvement, but hasn't moved up from 6th position. So he's just 0.06 of a second slower than Scott Huntley. Really exciting battle this for pole position, and the whole field is separated by less than a second. That is the junior grid in Birelart UK Series in 2018. If that's not a better advert for this championship, if you could think of a better advert, well, you're a better man than me, gungered in, because that's 18 karts in the entire junior field, separated by less than a second. That's how close it is here at Clay Pigeon. I know it's only a short circuit, but still, the level of competition in the Birelart Junior Brigade in 2018 is phenomenal. 18 karts, less than a second, pole position being critical, and this time it has gone to Harry Graham. Callum Gunning alongside him on the front row from Tom Harvey right up there in third place. A cracking final lap for him, puts him P3. Louis Ross in fourth, then it is Scott Huntley and Toby Baldry. Nicky Taylor in seventh place, Tom Davison is eighth, Sam Cunliffe in ninth position from Dylan Reed, then Ben Gartside, Jack Rigg, Alicia Parmowski, Morgan Cole, Dylan Brierley, Lewis Berry, Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal, and the whole field is less than a second apart. That's awesome. Really, really good stuff from the juniors. And obviously we move on from the juniors into the next class, and it is slowly turning into my favourite battle in the 2018 Birelart Series grid.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
The sun beating down in fine style here at the Clay Pigeon Raceway. And what a beautiful day it is here on a gorgeous May Sunday morning. And with absolutely bone dry circuit, clear skies, not a single cloud in sight. And that means that it's going to be very tricky for the drivers through the day. The track temperature will probably be a good 4 to 5 degrees more than the air temperature. And it is a scorcher today. It's expected to be about 22, 23 degrees Celsius through the course of the day. So if you take the track temperature into account, you're looking at about 27, 28 degrees Celsius for the track temperature today. That means that your tyres are basically going to be a bit like cheese on toast at the moment. And I've just been presented with Will Checkley's component from yesterday's final practice session, where basically his wheel sheared off the front right. And I've just been presented for it as a memento for my office. Excellent. Will Checkley has a habit of dropping bits off his cart and it ends up in my office. So thank you very much. That's another component. Very soon I'll have enough to build my own cart. Excellent. So I'm keeping that. I like my little mementos. I know a few people know that I like to collect bits and bobs of racing cars for my office. I've got an entire Birelart nose cone section from last year that was discarded by a certain Will Checkley. That's now on the top shelf of my office back in Chester. And there's a few other bits and bobs. If anybody's got any discarded tyres, don't sling them in the bin. Throw them in my car. I can always grow strawberries in the garden with them. So please do. Anyway, we've got Super Elites about to head out for qualifying. And this, as I was been talking about, is my favourite battle thus far in the 2018 Birelart UK Series paddock. Picture this. Last year we had 125cc categories in 2 disciplines. We had Super Elites and Super Masters, which was only divided by weight division. This year they have both been amalgamated. The minimum weight for Super Elites has gone up. The minimum weight for the Super Masters has gone down to the level playing field. That means that the Super Masters have had to be a little bit more intensive with their physical fitness training, which a lot of them have embraced. Some of them are just enjoying the racing because they love it anyway and would rather have that bacon sandwich in the morning, and fair play to you. That's my attitude as well. Whereas the junior drivers and the Super Elites who have come into the category for 2018, they have had it very tough as well because they've had a slightly heavier kart to deal with, and that means that the field is very, very tight. And we've got 3 battles in one because you've got the Super Elite drivers from last year, the likes of Sam Faulkner, Richard Evans, Matthew Pearce, not Amy Jurger this weekend, but she'll be back in time for Fullbeck. You've also got the Super Masters grid runners from last year who were battling for position, the likes of Sam Dimolo, Michael Roots, all of these guys at the front end of the field in that category. Neil Fisher, Mark Lawrence, all of those incredible drivers in there as well. And then you've got the 4 drivers who have stepped up from the junior category last year. The champion, Tyrone Stansfield, the runner-up, Harry Barlow, and race winner in the juniors last year, Tom Massarella, all of whom have got themselves straight onto the pace straight away. And it's been really interesting to watch. Plus, you've got a few returning drivers to the category and a few new faces who are really putting in a bit of a show. So we've got all sorts of stories that will develop over the course of the season, and I have to say this is one of the most competitive karting championships anywhere, never mind in Great Britain, because we have so many great drivers, all of whom are bidding for the same championship title. 3 of the drivers in this field were champions in the Birelart UK Series paddock in 2017, namely Tyrone Stansfield, who's the reigning junior champion, Sam Faulkner, who's the reigning Super Elites champion, and Sam Dimolo, who's the reigning Super Masters champion. There's now only one title for these 3 to go for. One of them's got to win it, but there's a good 20 or so drivers right behind them snapping at their heels, hoping they'll be champion. It is just about the best story in the Birelart UK Series paddock at the moment. I absolutely love it. Now, Joe Patterson, normally one of the top drivers in this field when he's got some money together, is watching at home, and he's made a bold prediction for pole position. He says, and this is Joe Patterson, not me, he says from home, pole position will either be Harry Barlow or Tyrone Stansfield. Bold claim from Joe Patterson. I don't think Sam Dimolo will like that one very much, and I'm not sure Sam Faulkner will have much pleasantries to say about that one either, but that's going to be a really interesting challenge. Certainly Harry Barlow and Tyrone Stansfield were strong in practice yesterday, Harry Barlow being top of all in the final practice session. But this is going to be close. There's so many drivers in the mix here who could have a really, really good hunting day at the office. And now, of course, this is the first time all weekend that the 2 halves of this grid, Super Elites, basically they run in odds and evens in the practice session to make it a little more clear in terms of track running for free time. This is the first time they will actually run on the same bit of tarmac this weekend together. So it's going to be a busy session. Traffic will come into account. Hopefully they can make their carts as wide as Land Rovers to stop people coming through. But as long as they've got decent track position, we're in for a really great show. And there's all sorts of drivers up and down this grid who can make the difference. For my money, there's 12 people on this grid, possibly 13, who could win the final later. So that is an amazing crop of drivers to talk about. And I'd probably count at least 18 or 19 of them who can be on the final podium. That is how tight it is in this championship. A few of them are missing from the action, and hopefully there's going to be a really interesting battle to talk about. Paul Snape, a regular in the paddock, because of course Tom Snape regularly races in the Super Elites category. Good luck to all the Super Elites ahead of qualifying. This is going to be a really interesting one, possibly the most interesting of the qualifying sessions, even with the unpredictability of the juniors to take into account. Super Elites 125 is quickly becoming the headline act of the 2018 season, as all the cadets and juniors seem to rush to a vantage point to watch these guys in action. All of them over the age of 16, some of them even in their 60s racing over the last couple of seasons. And this is where the senior right of karting really is in its element. These drivers racing because they want to prove that they can still hack it with the best of them. And some of the top drivers in the country are in this grid. Not all of them have the budget to go all the way to the top of World Motorsport. That doesn't make a difference. If you can be competitive and be at the front of this grid when all of the equipment is equal, same Birelart chassis, same iArmy engines, same Vega tyres, if you're at the front of this paddock, you are one of the best in the country. It's as simple as that. This is just about the most level playing field you're going to get in British karting. And when you consider how close it's been in the 125 series categories at Super Elites and Super Masters over the last 18 months, this really is an incredible championship. It never quite gets the credit it should. And the racing has been absolutely electric ever since I joined the season from in the paddock in early 2017. But having commentated on the television coverage of this championship since late 2013, I've got plenty of experience to talk about when I see these drivers at their A game. I've seen some amazing battles at senior level. It's some of the best senior karting you're going to see in Europe, never mind Great Britain. And even in these particular battles, you're going to see some absolutely spectacular race action. Just having a slight change of microphone setting for the live stream. Not entirely sure why that's gone off. I think we're back in action again. I might have accidentally knocked the switch. That's my fault. Do apologise to everybody watching at home on Facebook. It's very difficult when you're juggling 2 packets of peas of walliflower and three microphones. What's a walliflower, Jake? I don't know. I'll tell you later. Anyway, drivers getting themselves ready for the action then in the Super Elites, as they will go for 8 minutes around the circuit. And this is going to be a very interesting battle, to be fair. So all of the drivers are getting themselves ready. Watching from a post-stag do Travelodge bed in Newquay is Tom Butterworth. Good luck to everybody. Oh, that's your excuse, is it? Fair enough. We'll grill you for that one later. Let's have a chat with a couple of the juniors that we've got watching up here. Morgan Cole has come in. Morgan, That's a bit better from your qualifying session. Only 6/10 away, but in this closer field, it's always going to be that tight. How does that set you up going into the races?
Yeah, 14th I think I was. I'm happy with that, to be fair. Just got caught by myself, and it's the quickest I've gone all weekend, so I'm happy.
So basically now it's a question of if you keep that sort of pace going into the races, you can start to get used to the slipstream, start to pick off a few drivers, try and make your way to the top 6.
Yeah, hopefully a few people in front of me, they're new, so hopefully I can try and get at them a bit more, but we'll see what happens in the race. A bit of luck needed, but I think I'll get in the top 10 hopefully.
Okay, well hopefully there's a good race day in front of you, Morgan. Good luck.
Cheers.
So we're into the action itself now for the Birelart Super Elite 125. And as we battle away for position, we are going to go racing with gusto. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes. We'll have some absolutely terrific battle. We'll have some absolutely amazing battles and fights around the circuit. We've got a yellow flag down at turn 1 by the look of it. So somebody has gone off the circuit up at turn 1. There's a yellow flag. Oh, it's a stationary cart at the pit lane. That's Jonathan Corrie just making his way out onto the circuit. Now, it's a little bit different in the Super Elites compared to the other championships. It always seems to be. Because not all of the drivers tend to go out on the circuit at exactly the same time. To prove the point, we've got a few of the seniors out on track at the moment, but there's a lot of them who are still sat in the pits waiting to go out. We've got Sean Port, Matthew Pearce, Elliot Stanley's in the pits, so is Ian Williams, and then we've also got the likes of Jim Rainbird and Michael Roots, who are just watching a few of the lap times go to see who hits the front initially. Well, interestingly enough, it looks as though Joe Patterson's predictions are pretty much spot on the mark, because it's Harry Barlow and Tyrone Stansfield right at the sharp end, and then they come across the line again. Stansfield is now fastest from Richard Evans. Then it's Tom Massaralla in there from Jason Bradbury. My goodness, it's an interesting field here. Barlow is 5th, Dimolo in 6th, then it's Dan Walden from Neil Fisher. Up to the top goes Sam Faulkner. That didn't take long. How has he found a 34.8 this early? Goodness me! Sam Faulkner has found a 34.8 very early on in the session. Dimolo's right in there with him. This is the battle I've wanted to see all winter. Sam Faulkner versus Sam Dimolo in a grudge match. Tom Massaralla's now split them. 0.032 off. Ian Williams is coming out of the pit. So too is Matthew Pearce. So too is Elliot Stanley. Looks like Sean Port's going to make his way out as well. And so too will Jim Rainbird. Michael Roots gearing up. And Will Checkley's come into the pits. Not quite sure what's happened with Will Checkley's car. And he's getting out of the car. He's just been bashing his left front wheel. Oh, he's got a flat tyre. Will Checkley's got a flat. Will Checkley's got a flat tyre in the pits. That is an absolute disaster from his point of view. So Will Checkley in the pits with a puncture. So he's going to need to do some work with the kart now. And that is a really devastating end for the moment to his qualifying session. The tyre flat, so they need to put a new one on. And, well, that's a really, really big problem from his point of view. So watching at home is Carol Jeffs, Good Luck Lily and all the other cadets. They're coming up next, of course, as their race will be the first one of the weekend. So it won't be long before the cadets start to get themselves into position, ready for action. But Will Checkley is sat in the pits with a puncture. That is a disaster. A 2.5 seconds from the pace. Stansfield is currently on top. Sam Faulkner is 2nd. Massaralla 3rd from Evans 4th. Then it's Dimolo, Barlow, Jonathan Corrie up in 7th place on his first flying lap. Where has he been hiding? He's obviously been away doing some bits and pieces with his education and his studies, but now he's back for this weekend. He wanted an extra play, and he's going beautifully well. Dan Walden in 8th place. Mark Lawrence is having a good weekend here in 9th. And then Jason Bradbury in 10th place. From Hitch, Friday, Carl Watt, Neil Fisher, Ogle. And look at that. Stansfield, 34.736. Faulkner, 34.749. My word, it's close up the front. Qualifying in the Birelart UK Series never ceases to excite me. Gotta love the racing here. Beautiful racing and fantastic action on the way. And these guys are so good at providing us with a bit of a story. Up to 7th place now comes Ian Williams, going in front of Harry Barlow. Tyrone Stansfield. up at the very top, and that's a move from Barry Barlow up to 7th place. We've got Stansfield, Faulkner, Dimolo, Massarella, Evans, and then Matthew Pearce has come back out onto the circuit. So Matthew Pearce has found himself into the top 6. Faulkner goes faster, 34.637. Wow, he's finding some pace from somewhere. Goodness me, that is the fastest lap I think we've seen all weekend. 34.6 now from Sam Faulkner. That is an amazing lap time. And now Matthew Pearce has gone even quicker, 34.62. Where has that come from? Matthew Pearce clearly has been sandbagging. Well, last year they had an amazing battle, Pearce and Faulkner, and this year Pearce wants to stamp his authority on the 2018 Clay Pigeon meeting. Stansfield is still 3rd. Dimolo is 4th from Massarella, Evans, Barlow, Rainbird now up to 8th, Williams, and Michael Roots has now put himself in the top 10. Then it's Bradbury, Corrie, Walden, Lawrence, Hitch, Friday. Tyrone Stansfield has made his way into the pit by the look of it. Yes, indeed. So Tyrone Stansfield may need to make some adjustments, or has he done all there is to do? Really, really tough stuff here as Matthew Pearce and Sam Faulkner are separated by 17 thousandths of a second in qualifying. There's nothing in it. Stansfield is 3rd. Then Dimolo, Massarella, Evans, Barlow, Rainbird, Williams, Roots, Bradbury, Corrie, Walden, Lawrence, Hitch, Friday, Watt, Neil Fisher, Matt Ogle, Elliot Stanley is next. Then it is in 21st position. Sorry, I'm watching all sorts of things. 21st is Aaron Banks. Then it's David Darling, Jamie Hunnisett, Sean Port, Will Checkley, and Phil Patience. 26 drivers in this field. It is incredibly close. And there is some absolutely terrific action to come from this Super Elites 125cc category. But how close is it at the top? Matthew Pearce on a 34.620. He's looking at pole position. He was so good at this last year. In one lap over qualifying, he was one of the star turns of 2017. He looks like he's doing it again to dial up and go for victory in 2018. He was very, very close to the win last time out at Landau. Had the lead before Faulkner got him in the last corner of the last lap of the last race at Landau. Now, Matthew Pearce is going to have his opportunity to fight back. A lot of drivers coming into the pits have obviously done what they feel they can do from qualifying, but it's Matthew Pearce in front of Sam Faulkner at the moment. A few drivers staying out, trying to find a little bit more from their laps, but Matthew Pearce is pitting. Matthew Pearce is pitting. I think he's done enough. Tyrone Stansfield, 3rd position is the best he can hope for in this one. Well, what an amazing session this is turning out to be. A lot of the drivers will have done their very best, but look at that. On the timing screens, you can see it for yourself. 24 karts separated by a second. And Will Checkley would be within that mix had he not had his puncture. Phil Patience still getting up to speed, but that's practically the entire field separated by 1 second. Absolutely amazing. So I thought it was Matthew Pearce coming into the pits, and it was. It's Jonathan Corrie out on the circuit at the moment in the similar green machine, dicing with Dan Walden. Sam Faulkner has done the best he can do, and it's 2nd place. He has pitted. We've still got the likes of Jason Bradbury out there trying to make improvements. We're in the final minute and 20 seconds or so of the qualifying session, and we may see a few more changes before time is up. Really brilliant stuff at the moment. Pearce, Faulkner, Stansfield, Dimolo, Massarella and Evans in the top 6. All of them covered by less than a quarter of a second. Into the final minute of qualifying for the Super Elites 125 series we go. And there's going to be a few more drivers trying to make the difference up. Michael Roots is still out there pounding around. Dan Walden is out there as well. Still trying to find a position or two. Bradbury's out there. Darling is out there. A few more are trying to finish off their runs. Jamie Hunnisett trying to find another lap. But into the pits has come Roots, Walden and the man behind Jim Rainbird. Sean Port's still out there doing laps. Jamie Hunnisett's still out there. So Sean Port's trying to complete his lap time. A lot of the drivers will pit in early. They don't want to exacerbate their karts for the long races to come. So brilliant stuff. Really exciting here at Clay Pigeon Raceway. And it looks to me now as though Jason Bradbury is done and dusted. David Darling's going to come across the line. I think there's only 3 of them out there still setting laps. And that is David Darling, Jamie Hunnisett and Sean Port. Everybody else has finished their session. And it's Matthew Pearce that will be on the top of the dais for pole position in qualifying. Matthew Pearce by 0.017 ahead of Sam Faulkner. The battle from Landau resumes, and it's going to be amazing when it gets going. Stansfield third from Demelo, Massarala, Evans, Barlow, Rainbird, Williams and Roots in the top 10, all under half a second apart. Then it's Bradbury, Jonathan Corrie, Dan Walden, Mark Lawrence, Ben Hitch, George Friday, Carl Watt, Neil Fisher, Matt Ogle and Elliot Stanley in the top 20. And then we have Aaron Banks from David Darling, Jamie Hunniset, Sean Port, Will Checkley and Phil Patience. Some amazing driving to come then with the 26 karts in this session. It is the biggest grid of our 2018 season, but Matthew Pearce is a whisker faster than Sam Faulkner, exactly the way he likes it. So heading into that first corner first, he will be on the inside line and the first heat of the weekend. And I have to say, the rivalry between those two is going to be one of the main talking points of 2018. But here at Clay Pigeon, it started in earnest with the likes of Stansfield, Dimelo, Massarala, Evans, Barlow and Rainbird giving chase, with Ian Williams and Michael Roots in that top 10 as well. But 24 karts of the 26 covered by 1 second. That is amazing in Super Elites 125. It always is. But now, enough talk of qualifying. Let's focus on racing. The cadets are up in a moment.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
It's time to get ready for racing. We are about to get into the action for the first of 9 races today. And it is going to be the cadets who start things off with gusto and excitement. And it will be a very tough race indeed for the first of these cadet races, with Ella Stevens, champion from last year and fighting for the championship in 2018, starting from the front of the grid alongside Oakley Keatley. This will be a really interesting battle for the two of them as they run to the first corner. Nathan Tye will hunt them down from third position on the grid, and in there as well for the fight. There's going to be a really close battle with those cadets in position. I'm really excited about this one, to be fair. We're going to have a really exciting day at the office from the cadets. 3 races over the course of the day. The first one will set things up very nicely for that run to the podium. And the cadets have had an absolutely cracking weekend. They've been on bikes and Segway chairs and hoverboards all weekend, playing at the park next door, exploring all of the nooks and crannies, camping, barbecues, doing laps around the track last night. I was with them on my own bike, actually. Very good fun, and I think I've lost at least 14 stone over the last 24 hours. If I haven't, I'll be very disappointed. Anyway, the cadets having a cracking evening yesterday, a great day of practice all the way through Saturday, but now the serious business of racing gets underway. It's that old adage in the world of cadet racing: after the gates, no mates. But always they are racing very, very cleanly here, and that's what we love about this championship. The driving standards are always incredibly high. In the Cadets Championship in particular, it's always very impressive to see as these new drivers to the world of motor racing at national level. Honestly, the microphone on the PA system trying to shut me up. That's never going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. Anyway, all sorts of nooks and crannies of technical difficulty, but we're fighting our way through it. Don't worry about it, folks. We're still live on Downforce UK's radio stream, and of course live on the Birelart UK Series Facebook page as well for all of those unable to make it here this weekend. The live stream giving all of the fans back home a real flavour of the action. It's baking hot. It's crisp and dry weather here at Clay Pigeon Raceway. And judging by the complexion of a few of the mechanics up and down the paddock here, and a few of the spectators as well, some of them you could roast bacon on the backs of their necks. It's that hot round here. It's a very, very tall order for the drivers to keep on top of things, particularly when it comes to tyre delamination. There's a lot of tyre melting going on over the course of the weekend, and a few drivers will have to be very, very attentive to how well they look after their tyres. Not so much in the cadets as it is in the juniors and the seniors, but the racecraft is definitely going to be an interesting factor to add to everything we've had so far this weekend from the cadets, and they are getting themselves ready for the off. Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley on that front row of the starting grid. Barely a tenth of a second between them. Then we have Nathan Tye and Charlie Humphreys on that second row of the grid, both of whom have the chance to win this race and get their weekend off to a cracking start. Kylan Ingram and Jamie Gurney, two of the top names from last year and still battling away for supremacy. They will be hard to beat going into this weekend. Callum Lockett, ever improving, in a very strong 7th position on the grid. Great to see him there. Alongside the lead rookie this weekend, Archie Heron, who is not far away from the leading pace at all. And I'm sure he'll be starting to knock on the doors of 39-second lap times by the end of this weekend. Aidan Hassan in 9th position on the grid, hoping for a strong run up to the top 6. We saw him battle brilliantly at Landau. Surely he'll have another strong form. And then Craig Evans inside the top 10 there as well, as the 2nd fastest rookie at the moment. But that could change. Lily Jeffson, Hudson Cross, having a great weekend thus far, find themselves on the 6th row of the starting grid. Josh Turnbull and Chase Sharp are there on the 7th row, and then we have Jamie Warner and Jake Bell, 2 drivers who will more than be able to take advantage of other people's misdemeanors. So it's going to be a really fantastic performance. Jamie Scott, of course, was in the mix and will now have to start the race from the back of the grid, unfortunately. So we will see Jamie Scott work his way forward from 17th, but there's going to be plenty of great overtaking from him. He is not a slow driver in the slightest, so we'll watch Jamie charge his way forward very easily indeed, I'm sure. Now, we've got racing going on for these 3 categories, and we've got people watching on the live stream on the Birelart UK Series Facebook page, not just across Great Britain, but all over the world, as far as Australia, or is it New Zealand? I'm not sure. It's certainly down under. Ellie Chapman, I can never remember which country it is, but George Friday from all the family down under are watching. Goodness me, it must be barbecue o'clock where you are. It must be about 11 o'clock at night. Very good. Excellent. Well done. Well chosen. Much better evening's entertainment than Australia's Got Talent or whatever it is that's sweeping the board in your particular neck of the woods. This is much more entertaining. We've got the cadets about to go out onto the circuit with the battle joined between Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley on the front row of the starting grid. And they always give us fantastic entertainment and great race action, as do the other 15 drivers behind. It's always close in the cadets. We'll have some brilliant race action from them. And here at Clay Pigeon in particular, where it's all about slipstreaming, racecraft, and very impressive car control, these guys will be really on the ball right from the word go. So as the drivers get themselves into position on the dummy grid, we will get them back out into position. So hopefully we will have a very clean start from the off, because we've had some great racing from the cadets. It always tends to be pretty clean off the start in the cadets, because they know the golden rule of motor racing. You can't win the race in the first corner, but you can definitely lose it. And the cadets are very, very good at making sure that that doesn't happen. So we've got some great racing to come from them. But for my money, again, there's a good 7 or 8 drivers on this grid who have the chance to win races here this weekend. A good dozen of them who could be on the podium. So there's plenty to talk about, plenty to keep a focus on. And of course, we've always got 2 battles within one. We've got the championship battle at the front of the grid, but then we've also got the honours for the top rookie in the mix. And this weekend it's a very good one, because we've got Archie Heron and Craig Evans right in there in the top 10 in the mix. And then we've got the ever popular Lily Jeffs, who's going faster and faster with every race meeting. She's in there and up for a good battle. Chase Sharp, Hudson Cross, they're all in the mix as well. Josh Turnbull's going faster and faster. Jamie Scott will be a good one to watch from the back as well, because even though he's in 17th place, he definitely won't finish there if that's his game plan. He's got plenty of time to make up, and he will make it. He's one of those drivers who's very crafty when it comes to overtaking. He knows how to move forward, and he's going to be an interesting one to watch. To be fair, the cadet quality of this grid in 2018 is one of the best quality grids I've seen for a long time in the Birelart UK Series. It's great to see the established guards towards the front, being challenged by a few of the rookies towards the tail end of the established elite, and then the rookies themselves are having a terrific battle, all getting up to speed pretty quickly. Hard to predict who's going to be the Birelart UK Series cadet champion in either 2018 or 19 with this kind of field. So really exciting to see all these drivers moving forward and continuing to establish their moves. A sad sight to see that Dylan Briley isn't in the cadet field, of course. He was one of the top drivers in the mix, although stepping up to juniors, no hard feelings as far as he's concerned. And you'll see his race a little bit later on in the day. In fact, that is the next race that's going to be out on track. Green flags are almost ready to fly at the end of the pit lane. When they go out, the drivers will do their formation lap, and we will run around the circuit for an absolutely fantastic battle. And I did think there were a few drivers missing from the fray. Ali Hussein is one of the cadets not here. Sabir writes in, good luck everyone, see you all at Fullbeck. I was hoping it was only a short absence. So Ali Hussein will be back in the paddock at Fullbeck. So we're waiting for the time to tick down, and we'll give the all clear and send the drivers out onto the circuit for a really exciting race. The cadet race, the first one of the weekend, is usually pretty up-tempo. The first race of the season, if you remember back at Landau, we had a race to the finish line where the two drivers across that line, Ella Stevens and Nathan Tye, were only separated by about 4 centimetres at the flag. Really exciting stuff. Green flag flies. Can they match that with race 1 here at Clay Pigeon? We're about to find out. The drivers head out on track, and it's time to go racing for the first time this weekend. This is the big one. Ella Stevens, Oakley Keatley, Nathan Tye, Charlie Humphreys, Kylan Ingram, Jamie Gurney. Then we have Callum Lockett in there as well for 7th position. Although we've got somebody not starting from the pit lane. That is the 49 of Jamie Scott. All sorts of problems so far this weekend. And it looks to me as though he has yet to start the race. So he may have to start this race from the pit lane. Right, I think Jamie Scott may have to start the race from the pit lane unless he can cut through and join the back of the field. The grid is forming up. So I think Jamie Scott is not quite going to have time to start the race from the back of the field. So he's going to go around again. So this is going to be one of 2 formation laps to allow Jamie Scott to get back into his position at the tail end of the field. So there is the signal from Andy Cox on the start-finish straight. Go round again, chaps. Go round again. We're not racing this time because we're going to give Jamie Scott the chance to rejoin at the back of the field. So we're not racing yet. And the drivers will go around in formation. And so we're going to get a really interesting race when it gets going. So we're not starting just yet. But the action is going to be on tenterhooks as we go round on that formation lap. Natalie Keatley writes from home. Birthday podium? Question mark. Well, there's a good possibility. Oakley Keatley from the front row of the grid is in a very strong position off this starting line. So if he keeps it all on the straight and narrow and does what he does best, there is a very, very good chance of it. Through the horseshoe they will go, and then up towards the last couple of corners before we get racing for the first time this weekend. And it will be with the Cadet 60s as they run for position. What a battle this is set to be as the drivers will put themselves right into the heart of the action with Ella Stevens at the front of the field. Oakley Keatley alongside Nathan Tye and Charlie Humphreys on the second row of the grid. We're about to go racing then for the first time this weekend for the first of 9 races in the 2018 field here at Clay Pigeon. It is time for action to begin. They come out of the final turn. The engine revs will rise and we're about to go racing. They revs rise and they're going to be absolutely fine off the start. Yes, we are racing, surely. Good getaway from Ella Stevens at the front and she takes an early advantage. Ella Stevens takes the lead, no problem at all from the start. So as they work their way through the first couple of corners, it is no longer Ella Stevens leading. She's lost 2 places. Down to P3 she goes. It's Nathan Tye who leads from Kylan Ingram. So Nathan Tye and Kylan Ingram have got through into the lead. 4th position now is Ella Stevens, because up to 3rd has come Oakley Keatley once more. Charlie Humphreys there in P5. 6th is Gurney. 7th is Hassan in front of Callum Lockett. Then it is the leading rookie Craig Evans now in front of Lily Jeffs and Archie Heron. Then Josh Turnbull. 100 Hudson Cross from Chase Sharp. Jamie Scott's already made the move further back down the field, so there's a lot of battles getting us started already. But Tye and Keatley are out in front. Ingram 3rd. Stevens in 4th position. Cracking start to the race here, but the leading 4 are already starting to break clear of Charlie Humphreys if they can. Well, Humphreys trying to go with them, but these 5 look like they're going to push away from the rest of the field. Gurney in 6th position. 7th is Hassan. Then it's Lockett, Evans, Jeffs, Heron, Turnbull. Cross is in there in 13th from Chase Sharp. Then it's Jamie Warner, Jamie Scott, and Jack Bell as Ella Stevens makes the move for 3rd. Ella Stevens through into P3. So Stevens gets past Kylan Ingram for 3rd position as they go into the final turn. And it looks like Keatley's hit the front. So Oakley Keatley's got through past Nathan Tye. But these 2 want to work together to try and get away from the rest of the field. Ingram is going to try and fight her way. Ingram is going to try and fight with Ella Stevens to move their way forward. Really exciting stuff at the start of this race. But Keatley leads it from Nathan Tye, Ella Stevens, Kylan Ingram and Charlie Humphreys. Humphreys has now made the move up to 4th position. So Humphreys is through into P4. Stevens now tagging onto the back of Nathan Tye. Oakley Keatley in the lead of this race from Keatley, Tye and Stevens. Humphreys in 4th, Ingram in 5th. Then Jamie Gurney's broken clear of Hassan and Lockett as they battle away for 7th place. Nathan Tye on the back of Oakley Keatley in the final turn. So down the straight once more, Oakley Keatley in front of Nathan Tye, Ella Stevens in P3 as they race through the first corner. And it looks like Charlie Humphries is going to go with them. He's going to try and break away from Kylan Ingram, but the race is going to be very tough indeed from here on in. Ella Stevens knows how to make the difference. She's there in third position. Nathan Tye trying to get away with cooperation from Oakley Keatley as they battle their way forward, but Ella Stevens has dropped Charlie Humphries by a few kart lengths, and now they're going to have to work very hard to shake her off. Aiden Hassan makes the move on Callum Lockett and through back into 7th position as they dice for the place. Leading rookie is now Craig Evans in front of Archie Heron, who makes the move on Lily Jeffs. Jeffs has to back out round the far side. Here comes Ella Stevens trying to swarm away. Goodness me, Ella Stevens working very hard to try and get through on the inside there. But it's Oakley Keatley leading from Nathan Tye in 2nd, Stevens in 3rd, Humphries, Ingram, Gurney, Hassan, Lockett, Evans and Heron in the top 10. Then it's Lily Jeffs from Josh Turnbull, Hudson Cross, Jamie Scott up to 14th. Then it's Chase Sharp, Jamie Warner and Jake Bell. And there's a change for the leaders there. Nathan Tye's going to go through. No. In fact, Oakley Keatley's gesturing to Nathan Tye. Come on, let's work together. Let's get away. Let's move away from Ella Stevens if we can. But Ella Stevens is right there in 3rd place. Charlie Humphries getting very close in P4 as well. Humphries has got a real chance to outfox them all. We've got a yellow flag. Now, who's that's gone off? We've got a yellow flag, and that looks like we've had an off there from Chase Sharp, as Sharp has rejoined down at the back of the field, but Sharp has continued. So a little bit of an off there at the horseshoe from Sharp, but he's got recovered very quickly. And Ella Stevens there in 2nd place now. Ella Stevens up to 2nd position, made the move on Nathan Tye. So now Tye is going to try and edge Ella Stevens closer to the leader, Oakley Keatley. Humphries and Ingram are still close, but Ella Stevens now in P2. Still quite a long way to go in this race. 4 minutes plus 1 lap. Here they come. So Ella Stevens with Nathan Tye in cooperation. They're going to try and rove round the far side of Oakley Keatley. Is she going to go the long way round and get to the inside line? Yes, Ella Stevens is in the lead. So Stevens has moved through and taken the lead of the race. Now it looks like Nathan Tye's gone through in a 2nd place as well. So Tye's through in a 2nd place. Now these two are going to get away. This is just like we saw at Landau. Stevens and Tye are moving to get away from the rest of the pack. Keatley in 3rd, Humphries in 4th, Ingram in 5th. So things going very well at the moment here at Clay Pigeon for anyone in that top 5, but Keatley has got a little bit of a gap to make up between Ella Stevens and Nathan Tye. But Tye plays the long game here. He knows how to get away from Ella Stevens. So Nathan Tye is looking very good at the moment as Ella Stevens continues to lead with Nathan Tye right on the back bumper. Keatley is there half a second back. Humphries in 4th from Ingram, Gurney, and then we've got Hassan and Lockett absolutely raging with each other. Aiden Hassan and Callum Lockett are in an amazing battle for 7th place right now. Here they come, still locked together as they come off of the S's, and Hassan has dealt with Lockett once again, and that's allowing Craig Evans to get closer. So this battle with Aiden Hassan leading the charge, Callum Lockett trying to get alongside, Craig Evans, Archie Heron and Lily Jeffs, the 3 top rookies in this class this year, really having a great run. So this is going to be interesting. Will Archie Heron make the move on Craig Evans as Hassan has got Callum Lockett breathing down his neck once again. Here comes Callum Lockett down the main straight trying to get a move on Hassan. Evans and Heron are very close together. The two leaders are stretching out the advantage, but Aiden Hassan's having a great fight here for 7th place in front of Callum Lockett. Then it is Evans, Heron, Jeffs, and then it looks like behind them we've got Hudson Cross now up at a P12. But Callum Lockett again trying to make this move on Aiden Hassan. This is smart work from the rookies actually, being there in 9th, 10th and 11th, just watching what Hassan and Lockett do. So they battle away for position. Really exciting stuff, and now Ella Stevens and Nathan Tye are going through the traffic. They've just got past Jake Bell, but they are still locked together. What about this battle between Aiden Hassan and Callum Lockett? Archie Heron trying to make the move on Craig Evans. Evans is going to go for the move on Lockett into the first corner. Evans is there to the inside. Beautiful move from Evans. He's up in a P8. Great work from Craig Evans. That was a really sweet move. We got blue flags as the leaders are now starting to go through the traffic. They've got past Jake Bell. They're now making the move on Chase Sharp. And Lily Jeffs has made the move. Archie Heron has made the move on Lockett. Lockett's gone down to 11th place. So the rookies are flying. Heron and Jeffs are doing a great job. But Callum Lockett shouldn't be too disheartened. He's going to try and move his way forward. Now Craig Evans is having a go at Aiden Hassan. Can Craig Evans get himself into 7th place here as they come off the main straight? This is going to be interesting through turn 1. Aiden Hassan hanging on there in front of Craig Evans. Evans still battling hard with him. Likes that move into turn 2, hasn't been able to make it yet. Here come the leaders again, Stevens and Ty, still battling away. Keatley there in 3rd position, Humphries and Ingram, and then in 6th place, Jamie Gurney. He's kind of in no man's land at the moment, Jamie Gurney. They're in P6, still doing great lap times, but unable to run to the top 5. Then we've got Hassan still trying to shake off Craig Evans, and now Archie Heron's in there as well. Archie Heron is standing onto the back of Craig Evans. Can he make the move? They continue to battle. The lead is coming through the S's. Ella Stevens still with Nathan Ty right behind. Oakley Keatley has dropped over a second back now. So 3rd position still looking likely for Keatley unless he gets another strong challenge from Charlie Humphries. But this is great work from Nathan Ty. Nathan Ty now on the inside and takes the place of Ella Stevens. So Nathan Ty takes the lead. Ella Stevens will work with Nathan to try and move their way further forward. Ella Stevens coming straight back. Nathan Ty moves to cover. Goodness me, that was close as we're about to go towards the final dais. One more lap to go. Last lap. Here we go. Last lap of the race, and Nathan Ty's got Ella Stevens all over the place. Ella Stevens trying to come back on the inside of Nathan Ty. Keatley 3rd from Humphries, Ingram, and then Jamie Gurney. Here they come. Ella Stevens has got Nathan Ty lined up. They're going to be able to use the traffic in front potentially. Ella Stevens going to try and cut back the long way. Nathan Ty in defensive mode. Is Nathan Ty going to get the first win of the day here, or is Ella Stevens going to pull a fast one? They've got a slow card in front. This is an opportunity for Ella Stevens to cut through on the bars on the inside. Nathan Ty moves back to cut through, and Oakley Keatley gets through as well. Keatley's through in a 2nd place. It's going to be Nathan Ty from Oakley Keatley and Ella Stevens. Nathan Ty wins it. Keatley 2nd, Stevens 3rd. Really good battle in the first race of the weekend. And that's an off from Craig Evans as he battles away with Hassan and Heron. Oh dear, so that's Craig Evans, his bid to be the top rookie dash for the moment. But here comes Aidan Hassan battling away with Callum Lockett and Archie Heron. Lockett can't quite beat Heron across the line, but Archie Heron is the top rookie in the dais. Oh, what a close battle. Nathan Ty takes the win. Ella Stevens impeded by traffic on the last lap. Drops down to 3rd at the finish of it. What a race. But Nathan Ty, the championship leader, bangs in another victory there. Really good racing from Nathan Ty. Oakley Keatley, a fantastic final lap to make up the difference and grab 2nd place. A birthday podium definitely on then for Oakley Keatley. 3rd position, Ella Stevens. She'll have plenty of chances to come back. But what a fight. Humphries in 4th. Ingram is 5th. Jamie Gurney a solid 6th place from Aidan Hassan. The leading rookie is Archie Heron this time. Then it is Callum Lockett and Lily Jeffs inside the top 10 from Craig Evans, Hudson Cross, Josh Turnbull, Jamie Scott, Jamie Warner, then Chase Sharp and Jake Bell. What a first race in the cadets. Goodness me. Battle for the victory, battle for 7th. Very, very, very difficult to figure out which way to look. But great racing for the Birelart cadets. And if you enjoyed that, well, I can guarantee you the Birelart juniors will give us even more great action. But it's first blood to Nathan Ty here this weekend in the Birelart cadets in front of Oakley Keatley and Ella Stevens. There's more great action on the way from the Birelart juniors.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Fever pitch racing here at Clay Pigeon. It's always that way in the Birelart UK Series paddock, but particularly here this weekend, we've had a great race so far. Ryan Smith just reminding us, very close in the top 5. You're not wrong, it really was. Fantastic racing, and it proves that Oakley Keatley was a man never to say die. Always fought his way forward there, got himself into 2nd position on the last corner of the last lap of the first race of the weekend. Brilliant stuff. So now we move our focus from the cadets to the juniors, and it's Harry Graham, the leading seed coming into this weekend, the number 3 last year. Only beaten in the championship last year by Tyrone Stansfield and Harry Barlow, who have now stepped up, of course, to the Super Elites. So on paper, Harry Graham is the championship favourite, but he knows that this is going to be a much harder task than just being the number 3 seed. Alongside him on that front row of the grid is Callum Gunning, who did so well at Llandau, won all 3 races in the end after an amazing battle. But that is going to be a very tough act to repeat, especially when you've got so many talented drivers starting directly behind. Particularly, a very strong work this weekend from Tom Harvey. They're in 3rd position on the grid. This is only his 2nd meeting as a junior, and he really has stepped up to the plate beautifully. He's got great pace this weekend at Clay Pigeon. And hopefully there's another strong run, as well as his rival from last year on the same row of the grid, Louis Ross. The cadets have come up to juniors and been very strong immediately. Always great to see that the cadets have come up to the new class, their latest class, up to juniors, and been flying out of the box straight away. I'm sure that the established guard from last year are not particularly happy about it, but there's not a lot they can do about it except beat them. Scott Huntley on the third row of the grid, looking very strong this time out. Alongside him, Toby Baldry. Nicky Taylor, 7th position on the starting grid this time for the first race of the weekend. Alongside him, the 100 of Tom Davison. And that's going to be a really interesting challenge to move forward. And then, of course, in behind we have the likes of Sam Cunliffe. So it's going to be a really interesting grid. Let's run through the Junior 100 heat grid in full as we look at the proceedings. It's going to be so close in this race, with the entire field now from qualifying separated by just a second. Really exciting stuff. We'll talk to a couple of the cadets in a moment who look absolutely fresh-faced and fresh as a daisy after that race, because we've got a few of them coming up here to the balcony at Clay Pigeon. We'll talk to them in a moment. Harry Graham and Callum Gunning on that front row of the grid. Tom Harvey and Louis Ross in behind. The cadets from last year moving up into the juniors and being on the second row of the grid. Very exciting and very good to see. Scott Huntley and Toby Baldry, two of the top drivers from last year, right there at the front again this year on the third row of the grid. Nicky Taylor still searching for that elusive first victory. Could happen here at Clay Pigeon. He's got the speed and the racecraft and the prowess to do it. Then we've got Tom Davison alongside him. Sam Cunliffe and Dylan Reed will round out the top 10. And both of those drivers have tasted victory in the last 3 meetings they've done. Ben Gardside and Jack Rigg will be there on the 6th row of the grid. Very impressive in yesterday's practice session, and hopefully they will continue to put on some great performances here this weekend. Then we have Alicia Parmowski, the rookie, doing very well indeed there to go 13th fastest alongside Morgan Cole, who's still not too far away, but because it's so close, only in fact has 14th position as a starting point, but he will move his way forward, and he's got support from home, I should point out. The best of British and Welsh, of course, from Grandma at home. So that's going to be an interesting race for him there. 15th and 16th on the grid. Sharing the 8th row is the new boy to the Junior Championship this weekend, Dylan Brierley, who's enjoying his new rocket ship to play with. And then we have Lewis Berry alongside him on the grid, with Connor Stanton and Vijay Ramlal on that 9th row of the grid. And there is less than a second between them all. Now let's have a catch up with a couple of the cadets. Firstly, Lily Jeffs, who fought her way into the top 10 in that first race. Lily, that was pretty exciting stuff. That battle for 7th could have gone anybody's way, but great to see you in the top 10 at the end of it. Talk us through the race from your point of view.
Well, I was at the back, sort of, but I was waiting for everyone to battle each other so I could go by, and that's what happened with Archie and Callum. So I got past Callum, so he was behind me, and me and him were battling, and then he got by me, and then Craig spun, so I thought that was really good, and then that was the end lap, so exciting.
It seems to be that there's 3 of you cadets that are starting to break clear and join the rest of the elite. That's yourself, Archie and Craig. It looks like there could be a battle between you 3 for the top rookie. So a good start to the weekend here. Can you move any further forward in the next heat, do you think?
Hopefully, yeah. But if I still finish 10th, I'll still be happy with that.
You've done a fantastic job so far, Lily. Well done.
Thanks.
Really good job. Let's talk to the top rookie from that race, actually, Archie Heron, who was right in the mix there, battling right to the finish line, in fact, with Aidan Hassan and Callum Lockett. That was very close, Archie. How did things go from your point of view?
Well, it was good, but when Craig spun, I didn't know, how, so I think he, locked up or he span in the corner. So, I got past Callum coming through the S, because he went out wide, so I came up the inside and got the place. Then Craig span, so that's where I got him, and then after Callum was trying to get me before Craig span, and I kept the place because we were going three wide through the big corner, coming through to the pit straight.
Fantastic. So a great first race. Hopefully there's 2 more like that in the bag for you later. Good luck.
Thank you.
So we've got the junior race coming up a little bit later on. Let's have a chat with one of the drivers in the Super Elites coming up. You were trying to hide from me there, Will. I saw that. And thank you for the component that's now going to join your front nose cone from last year in my office as well. Your dad's done a good service there. So what can we see from this junior race? It's going to be very close with these guys. You've been hanging out with them over the course of the weekend. It's going to be so close in this battle, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully. It's great to see Harry up there, actually, Harry Graham. I don't think he had the best of luck in the races, but hopefully he can do well in this one. And yes, Scott's good around here, so hopefully he can move up. So yeah, I think it'll be a good race, I think.
It's been a really interesting start to the year in the juniors because every session from one to the next, it's been a complete shuffle of the deck. We don't really know who's the established guard. So after Callum did so well at Landau, it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that pace up.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely do well. He's a really good driver, so yeah.
Frustrating qualifying from you because, of course, a flat tyre is not the way you want to start your weekend.
Yeah, I just noticed something wasn't right on my front left, and turned out my valve had a leak on it, so it wasn't a puncture, luckily. But yeah, it was just the valve leaking, so we've sorted it out. So hopefully it won't do it again, and hopefully we can finish the heat and hopefully the rest of the races. That's what I'm aiming to do.
Well, we know you're good at fighting back, Will. Hopefully it's a much stronger end to that, eh?
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Awesome stuff. So let's get into the race action then for the juniors. It's going to be very, very close. How is the battle going to go in this one? Well, we'll find out. And a bit of a big up from Stuart Briley watching at home. His first ever junior race. How is he going to go? Well, he's right in the mix and right in contention. So we're about to find out. So Harry Graham and Callum Gunning, Tom Harvey, Louis Ross, Scott Huntley, Toby Baldry, Nicky Taylor and Tom Davison. Let's go racing one more time. The round they will go before we go racing, because that ended up being not the cleanest of rolling laps. So they're going to go round one more time. This is going to be really, really exciting. The juniors have been so close, to be fair. And I'm not entirely sure who's going to get the victory this time, because they are so closely matched at the front end of the field. But just look at the names we've got in that top 10 this time. Harry Graham, Callum Gunning, Tom Harvey, Louis Ross, Scott Huntley, Toby Baldry, Nicky Taylor, Tom Davison, Sam Cunliffe and Dylan Reed. Any one of those 10 could win this first race of the weekend. Any one of them could be on the top step of the podium at the third and final time of asking later on this afternoon. It's all very, very close and very unpredictable. That's what we like about it. Here we go. Let's go racing this time in the juniors. They will even up as they come across the line. And it's going to be a clean start this time. Yes, it is. Away we go racing into that first corner. A really, really good charge to the first corner. And it's all clean as we go through the first couple of corners. Out in front it is Callum Gunning who's taken the initial lead. He goes through. Harry Graham in a second position. That's Toby Baldry looking likely to try and make up his way through. But it's Tom Harvey who's held on the third. Graham gets the move on Gunning to take the lead back again. Very nice move. It looks like there's been a little bit of jostling further back in the pack. I think we've had Tom Davison and Dylan Reed drop down to the back of the field behind Dylan Briley and Connor Stanton. So they're going to be charging their way forward. But how about this? Graham leads the way from Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley and Baldry. Then Nicky Taylor, Sam Cunliffe. And it looks like Ben Gardside's being chased down by Alicia Palmowski. Great start to the race then in the juniors. They've really given us great quality entertainment in this first couple of laps. Tom Harvey right in there in third position, chasing down Callum Gunning. Harry Graham determined not to be beaten. Who's that that's run wide? I think that's a little bit of a mistake there from Alicia Palmowski, who's going to lose a couple of places. That's Lewis Berry having gone through. Morgan Cole's gone through. Jack Riggs gone through. And now she's being chased down by Vijay Ramlal. Then it's Dylan Briley, Connor Stanton, Dylan Reed and Tom Davison. Here they come. Graham is leading. Callum Gunning second from Harvey. Ross. Morgan Cole's batting on the way with Lewis Berry further back in the pack, but it's Graham in front from Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Taylor and Cunliffe. Really exciting racing in there. Gardside's in the mix as well. So this will be a really interesting challenge in the juniors as they have an absolutely cracking battle. Harry Graham in front of Callum Gunning as they race for position. They continue their scrap, and Harry Graham going very well up towards the final turn. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Callum Gunning, who is definitely not slowed down any. Gunning might have an opportunity to come off the turn and go for the move into the S's. Morgan Cole's going to make the move on the inside of Lewis Berry further back, and he gets the place. So Morgan Cole has moved up into 10th position on Lewis Berry. So Morgan Cole gets through. It's Harry Graham leading though, still from Callum Gunning. Gunning still in there. Little bit of a jostle of a position as Louis Ross moves to hold off Scott Huntley. He's still there in P4. This is great racing from Tom Harvey and Louis Ross in particular. Third and fourth place in their second ever meeting as a junior. They're having an amazing run, having stepped up to cadets. This is great work from Harvey and Ross. Now, is there going to be a change of the lead? Because Gunning has pushed very hard there on the back of Graham. Tom Harvey's trying to make his way onto the lead lap as well. This is going to be amazing between these three up front. Harvey's gone with Graham and Gunning. They've lost a bit of momentum, and that's brought Louis Ross back into contention. It's still very close indeed between the leaders. Nicky Taylor's caught up to the back of Toby Baldry as well, so we could see a few good overtaking moves here. Then it's Cunliffe, guard side. Morgan Cole's got to the front of the chasing pack. Then it's Berry with Jack Rigg and Alicia Barmowski. Brierley, Reed, Ramlal, Stanton and Davison. Really good battle, this one in the juniors, as Graham, Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Taylor, Cunliffe and Guardside are stretching out the advantage over the rest of the field. It's a 9-car train led by Harry Graham and Callum Gunning. Tom Harvey pushing on there in third position. They come through the long right-hand sweep into the horseshoe. Graham still going well. Harvey close to the back of Callum Gunning, looking for his first opportune moment to strike and move up into the lead of this race if he can get an opportunity on Callum Gunning. Going well thus far. Really great racing from the juniors at this moment in time. And they are battling. They are pushing big time. Tom Harvey, fastest lap of the race. He is there in third position for the moment. But Graham, Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Huntley, Baldry, Taylor, Cunliffe and Guardside. That's your top 9 at the moment. Guardside trying to stay with them. Cunliffe is not far off the back of the leading 7. But what a great charge this is at the moment. Tom Davison's now caught up to the back of Vijay Ramlal and is trying to make the move as he makes his way forward. Alicia Barmowski's got past Jack Rigg, so she is going to be the lead rookie if things stay as they are. Morgan Cole out in front of his little battle. Alicia Barmowski 11th. Then it's Rigg, Berry, Reed, then Brierley. Great battles, great charge at the moment from the Birelart juniors as they run in position. Harry Graham having a great run here at the lead of the race. Callum Gunning under pressure from Tom Harvey. Not a rookie, of course, because he raced in cadets last year. Was the runner-up. Baldry makes the move on Huntley. So Toby Baldry gets through in a P5 on Scott Huntley. Nicky Taylor's got a chance to pounce out of the final turn as well. So Nicky Taylor's going to try and make that move his own as he comes off the turn. Nicky Taylor charging forward, trying to get a move there on the inside. Not quite close enough. Callum Gunning, fastest lap of the race, in second position with 3 minutes plus 1 lap on the clock. But Harry Graham's got a bit of a lead now. Tom Harvey trying to make the move on Callum Gunning. Tom Harvey right there in third position, trying to make his way forward. So it's Graham, Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Baldry, Huntley, Taylor, Cunliffe, Guardside. And then we've got the man in 10th position, Morgan Cole, being chased down by Alicia Barmowski. Then it's Dylan Reed, Brierley, Berry, Stanton, Davison. And then we've got Jack Rigg in there with Vijay Ramlal as they go through the first couple of corners. Gunning is still pushing hard. Toby Baldry, the new fastest lap of the race. But the top 3 are desperately trying to break clear of Louis Ross. Graham in the lead of this one, second position. That is still Callum Gunning, who really seems to have stepped up the mark in 2018. Callum Gunning is threatening to be a championship contender. Tom Harvey in third position, doing a great job. Louis Ross in P4 as they continue to scrap for position. P5 is Baldry, P6 is Huntley. Then it is Taylor and Cunliffe. Guardside not able to stay with them. Barmowski trying to make the move on Morgan Cole out of the final turn. So there's great racing further back as Dylan Brierley is now at the front of the queue, battling it out with Dylan Reed. And now that's Tom Davison trying to make his move on the inside there of the 81 of Connor Stanton. Can't quite make the move stick. But it's Graham from Gunning, Harvey, Ross, Baldry, Huntley, Taylor and Cunliffe. Great racing there as Dylan Brierley shakes off Dylan Reed further back down the order. Now Dylan Reed gets his move on the inside as they go to the horseshoe. Great racing for Dylan Reed. But back at the front, it is still about Harry Graham as he battles with Callum Gunning, who's just set another new fastest lap of the race. So great racing in the mid-pack. Here they come through the S's. Great action. Harry Graham from Callum Gunning and Tom Harvey. They're in P3. Tom Harvey was excited about the prospect of being in the top 10. He's in P3 at the moment. What if he could pick up a podium in his second meeting as a junior? Really exciting racing here. Good racing and good battling as Alicia Parmowski makes a charge there on Morgan Cole. Has now got the Dylan Reed battle charging after her. So let's see what she can do to move to cover. Tom Harvey now the fastest lap of the race in third position. Alicia Parmowski challenging from Dylan Reed as they battle away for position in the battle for 10th place. But the leading three have broken clear now. Where's Louis Ross? Where's Louis Ross? He seems to have fallen from the fray. I'm not sure what's happened to Louis Ross, but he's not through anymore. In P4, there he is. There he is. Louis Ross has had enough at turn 1. Louis Ross recovers, but he's now at the back of the field. That is a real shame for Louis Ross. He was looking so good there, but has now come off the circuit. And with 2 laps to go, Louis Ross is not going to finish any higher than 18th in this race. That is a real shame. He had a great run there in the top 4, but it's all gone pear-shaped from his point of view. That's a real shame. And now the lead battle is kicking on apace now. Gunning all over the back of race leader Harry Graham. Tom Harvey in there in third place. So Callum Gunning is trying to make the move on Graham. Graham is resisting as much as he can. Tom Harvey is close. Here they come. They're going to go into the last lap this time. So it's now or never for Callum Gunning. And he knows it. He's going to try and make the move on the inside. Graham's going to try and hold him off. But Gunning is through. Gunning takes the lead. Graham in second place. Harvey in third. Callum Gunning makes the move stick. And now Tom Harvey's just sat in third position, watching to see what happens. Harry Graham's got a good chance to come back on Callum Gunning, who's defending like mad. Now can Harry Graham push past on the inside? He's going to come side by side. Graham's going to try and make the switch back to the inside line of the final turn. If he gets a good line off the turn, he has a chance to get there. But it's going to be Callum Gunning. Gunning wins the race. Gunning is there from Graham. And look at Alicia Parmowski in the back of the queue. She fends off from Dylan Reed and Berry. Berry's going to try and snatch the top rookie on her. Parmowski holds it to the outside line. Morgan Cole, it's going to be a drag race. And Parmowski's going to be the lead rookie home. Oh, what a race. What a race from the mid-pack as well as the front end. Callum Gunning wins it. Graham second. Thomas Harvey is third. That was sensational stuff. Yet again. Let's watch that move once more on the live stream as Gunning just kept the car stable, waited for Graham to move to the outside line and just stuck his cart on the inside. Great move, great racing. Graham trying to resist it, but Gunning through. And that's a fantastic bit of racing at the front end of the field. Callum Gunning wins once more in the Birelart Juniors Brigade from Harry Graham and Tom Harvey. Scott Huntley in a valiant 4th place from Toby Baldry and Nicky Taylor. Sam Cunliffe is 7th place in front of Ben Gardside. Then it is Morgan Cole. Alicia Parmowski finishes as the lead rookie and in the top 10 as well. Then it is Lewis Berry from Tom Davison, who fought back majestically to 12th. Dylan Briley, Dylan Reed, Jack Rigg, Connor Stanton, Vijay Ramlal, and a very unlucky Louis Ross to come off there at the time he did. We've got the leading runners from the cadets up here to talk to in just a moment. But of course, we're going to have some great battles from them as they race away for position. But what a result this has been from the 125s. Coming up next, the juniors very, very close. But now we've got the super elites to talk about. And if they're going to be any better than the juniors, they're going to have to work very hard indeed.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Well, Nathan Tye is up here. He's really resisting coming and talking to me. He's dancing his way to me. That's absolutely fine, Nathan. You can show off all you like. It's radio. They won't notice. So, Nathan, a very tough first race there, actually. That was really, really close. But what a battle, and nice to start the weekend off in fine style.
I thought I was just a bit lucky there. There's a lot of other chances that Overdrive could be in the mix, such as JB Gurney and a few others. It was a good battle.
You seemed really worn out from it because it was obviously a very hard battle because you had Oakley there you were working with in the early stages, then Ella came through. You had a lot of opportunities to lose it, but a great way to fight for it and a good victory.
I'm not sure how I was able to hold Ella off.
You're lost for words for once. Normally you're an absolute chatterbox. You don't know what to say. I tell you what, it's a good starting point for the next race, though, isn't it? I mean, this is going to be a tough battle, but do you think you can do it a couple more times?
Well, anything's possible. Ella, Oakley, Kylan, Charlie, anyone could win the race.
Okay, well done for the first one, mate. Good job. Let's talk to a man who was there in second place, because he was the lead rookie last year, found his way to second position in that one after a cracking battle. Oakley, let's be fair, that was a really, really tough battle there, and in third position for a long time you were, and about a second back, so to fight through to second on the last lap, that was a real chances move. How did it work out?
They just got into a big scrap and I caught up, and then Ella got caught behind a back marker and I just took the place.
And there was enough space to make the move quite easily, but it's going to be harder to come up with that kind of move in the second, because obviously it's a longer race and that kind of opportunity may not present itself so easily. So how are you going to beat Nathan? Is there a plan to sort of get away and then see what happens? He's not going to be, you said, Nathan.
I'm not sure.
Well, fighting talk for both of you. Good luck, mate. Brilliant first race from the cadets. Great to talk to them. Hopefully we'll get some of the juniors from their previous battle up here very shortly. But focus now switches to the 125s. But everybody was watching that one and had a lot of great things to say about the racing in the juniors. Alex Pinnell watching at home. Well done, Callum. Nice overtake. It really was on the final lap. A beautifully timed move into turn 2. It's that kind of move that can really set you up. You almost don't want to be leading going into the final lap. You want to be sat in second place making the move. So Callum Gunning waiting for the prime moment. They say that when there's one driver winning all the races, it can be very boring. Not here. I tell you what, Callum Gunning has made every single race look incredibly difficult, but a great fight back. It's the way you want to see drivers winning races regularly. And a brilliant battle behind them as well in that epic fight for 9th and 10th position. Mike Newbury was watching. Well done, Alicia. Well done, Callum, that was from Mike Newbury. But Mark James was watching for Alicia Parmowski as well. So Callum, awesome stuff from Mike Newbury. Well done to Callum Gunning, but also to Alicia Parmowski from Mark James. Well done. An amazing battle that was, right to the line as they fought for 10th position, just as close as it was for the victory. Anyway, the Super Elites 125cc, first heat of the day and first race of the day. Matthew Pearce and Sam Faulkner on the front row of the grid. This is going to be one heck of a show. Tyrone Stansfield and Sam Dimolo on that second row of the grid. It will be very tight. Tom Massaralla and Richard Evans on the third row of the grid, from Harry Barlow and Jim Rainbird on the fourth row. And that's going to be very close indeed. When you consider there's less than half a second between those 8 drivers, this will be tight. Ian Williams and Michael Roots will be rounding out the top 10 in this one. Both drivers who will want to move forward as much as they possibly can. Michael Roots in particular, a race winner in Supermasters last year, will want to do it again in Super Elites in 2018. Jason Bradbury and the returning Jonathan Corrie. Great to see Jonathan Corrie back in the paddock once again. And he has been missed, it has to be said. So the driver's going very well in the top 12. Then we have Dan Walden, the 13th place man from Mark Lawrence. Mark Lawrence in there, the most experienced driver in the Birelart senior grid. About to start over the course of the season his 250th race start in a couple of meetings' time. Ben Hitch and George Friday, 15th and 16th on the grid on the 8th row. Carl Watt and Neil Fisher with a lot of work to do from the 9th row. But if anyone's going to fight their way forward with gusto, it's going to be Neil Fisher, isn't it? Then on the 10th row, it is going to be Matt Ogle and Elliot Stanley. And both of those drivers will want to charge their way forward. Aaron Banks on the 11th row of the grid will be there alongside David Darling. And those two will want to make up places if they can. Jamie Hunniset, it will be 23rd on the grid, sharing the 12th row with the number 45 of Sean Port. So the number 24 will be in there, 245 I should say actually. And then we'll have Will Checkley after his puncture that put him out of qualifying, and Phil Patience, who's still getting up to speed. We've got another one of the top juniors actually alongside me there in the midst of the battle from that earlier race, Nicky Taylor, who was charging his way forward and doing a good job in the race. Nicky Taylor, that was always going to be very, very close, but it was so tight when there was a battle of 8 of you all gunning for the same bit of racetrack. What was it like to be in the middle of it?
It was quite hairy with all the battling and stuff, but I mean, I just saw loads of them were battling up the front, and I was like, right, I'd rather get home and stay in the position that I was and not right off the cart than get involved and end up crashing out. So I was just maintaining the position that I was in, and it worked out well, and I'm happy with where we got.
I'm guessing this is going to be one of those weekends where you're kind of taking baby steps to move up to the final and see if we can get on the podium, because it's going to be a frustrating weekend for all of the junior drivers trying to make that progress. I guess the best you can hope for is to pick off a few places, get a good position for the final and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we want to pick off a few more places, like 2 or 3 more places in the pre-final, and then when it comes to the final, just go gun-ho and just see how it goes and hopefully get the win if we can. Podium it would be preferable as well, so just got to see how it goes from now on.
Liking the attitude, Nicky. Keep it up, mate.
Cheers.
So that's the kind of speed we'll get to see, hopefully, from Nicky Taylor as the racing goes on. But now we have the focus on the 125 cc's. Some great racing and great battles. Joe Patterson is watching and, of course, keeping an eye on his man, Tyrone Stansfield. P3 to P1. Come on. Unfortunately, Joe, your prediction for qualifying wasn't quite spot on. It certainly started that way, but everybody reckoned without the battle between Matthew Pearce and Sam Faulkner. That will once again take centre stage, and it is a great battle. These two know each other inside and out. They know every trick that the other one can pull, and it's going to be great racing as they leave the pits for the first time for racing. Matthew Pearce versus Sam Faulkner. Game on. Tyrone Stansfield and Sam Dimolo, our other 2017 champions, are on the second row of the grid, and that's going to be one heck of a show as well. So the drivers leave the pits, and it's 125cc Super Elite race action, our last race before the lunch break as well. So these guys are going to go to battle with some brilliant racing on the horizon. And the fight between Matthew Pearce and Sam Faulkner on that front row of the grid is definitely going to be the hottest ticket in town. We'll see some great racing from them here today. So let's see how it all shapes up. They'll go round again. So many of them leaving the pits and getting up to speed that they're going to need to go round one more time. But this just gives them a little bit more time to get the brakes and the tyres up to temperature. They'll need to do a little bit of work with them before the race starts. But this will be a very interesting show. So many talented drivers in this grid. 24 of them separated by about a second in the race battle. So we shall see some terrific racing in the Super Elites 125cc. So let's see how they're going to go. Pearce and Faulkner on the front row. Stansfield and Dimolo on the second. Massaralla and Evans on the third. On the fourth is going to be the 301 of Barlow alongside the 3 of Evans. Then it will be a very close battle behind them with so many great drivers in the mix. A lot of attention on this one. So many people, the cadets and juniors watching on as well. This will be a strong fight. Matthew Pearce on the right inside line. Sam Faulkner in the mix as well. And we are racing. Cracking start. Into the first couple of corners we go then, and is it clean? Yes, it is. Who is leading initially? It is going to be Sam Faulkner who takes the early advantage from Matthew Pearce. Right in there, Stansfield for third, Dimolo fourth as they come up through the S's for the first time. But it's Faulkner leading Pearce. Faulkner, of course, on that inside line makes it very interesting as they squabble away for position further back. Stansfield third, then Dimolo. Evans has made a great start. Massaralla in front of Barlow. The field works its way through those first few corners of the race, and now onto the home straight. Faulkner trying to get away from Pearce, Stansfield and Dimolo. Evans, Massaralla, Barlow. The chasing pack very feisty as there is a good couple of battles further back in the pack. But Faulkner is your leader from Pearce, Stansfield, Dimolo, Evans, Massaralla, Barlow, Williams, Rainbird, Roots, Bradbury and Corrie. Have the inside, Matthew Pearce having to defend, having lost the place initially to Stansfield. Now Dimolo's got through in a P3. So Stansfield now having to shake off the attentions of Richard Evans and Tom Massaralla. Harry Barlow's in the mix as well. Absolutely sensational racing, but Matthew Pearce in second place, desperately trying to get after Sam Faulkner, who leads the way. So Faulkner, Pearce, Dimolo, Stansfield, Evans, Massaralla, Barlow, Williams, Rainbird, Roots, Bradbury, Ben Hitch now in front of John Corrie. Then it's Dan Walden from Neil Fisher, fighting his way to 15th. Then it's Matt Ogle from Watt, Friday, Lawrence, Port, Stanley, Banks, Honeysett, Darling, Checkley and Patience. But out in front it is Sam Faulkner having a great battle and a fantastic tussle. Stansfield has got Sam Dimolo in front of him now. So Sam Dimolo through in a P3, trying to fight forward. This will be a tough race without any shadow of a doubt. And all the drivers are going to be there as Stansfield makes the move back into third position on Sam Demoleau. Stansfield back into P3. Good work from Tyrone Stansfield as he now gets into third position in front of Sam Demoleau. Faulkner leading, Matthew Pearce in second, trying to stay with him, but Faulkner's building a massive gap. And that's a great move further back as Matt Ogle dices with Carl Watt. Carl Watt gets through. So let's see how things are currently going. Matthew Pearce trying to move his way further forward. Some great racing in the early stages of this race as Elliot Stanley goes to battle with the 230 of Mark Lawrence. Banks is in there as well. Sean Port, Jamie Hunnisett, Dave Burns, Will Checkley and Phil Patience. Some great racing here at Clay Pigeon, but out in front, Faulkner has the advantage over Pearce, Stansfield, Demoleau, Evans and Barlow. Massarella down to 7th, in front of Ian Williams, having a great run there in 8th place. Yellow flags, we've got it off. Now that looks to me like that is the 230 that has come off the road there. Now that is Mark Lawrence. So Mark Lawrence has slipped from 19th down to 25. The racing continues, but it's going to be a tougher day in the office for the Scotsman as they continue on. Faulkner on lap 6 from Matthew Pearce, Stansfield, Demoleau. Looks like there's going to be a battle further back as Jason Bradbury tries to make the move on Jim Rainbird, battling away with Michael Roots in there behind Williams. And it looks like we've got Ben Hitch in the mix of that one as well, the 160. So there's a great battle at the front, there's a great battle in the mid-pack. Matthew Pearce could really do with some help from Tyrone Stansfield here, but he's not quite close enough to move him forward. And that's where the difficulty is going to come. Such amazing racing here. And there's always going to be this kind of battles in the Birelart UK Series. We'll always get this kind of action for the Super Elites. They are stupendous. Bradbury tries again on Rainbird into the horseshoe. Does not work. So he's got to wait for another chance. But Sam Faulkner, having built that early advantage from Matthew Pearce with a few qualifying laps, is now just hanging on to his advantage out front. Really good stuff from Matthew Pearce in second place, but not enough to keep up with Faulkner. Then it's Stansfield, Demoleau, Evans, Barlow, Massarella and Williams. So Sam Faulkner out in front to the tune of 1.1. Pearce in second from Stansfield and Demoleau. Evans is still right there. Rainbird's going to have to do very hard work to shake off Bradbury. And Ben Hitch is in there as well. This is the battle for 10th position. Is Bradbury going to make his move? No, he's not quite going to be able to. Rainbird continues to hold him off, for the moment at least. But this is going to be incredibly tough stuff. Looks like we've had somebody go off the circuit at the S's and rejoin fairly quickly. But all is going according to plan as things currently stand. John Corrie on the back of the 160 of Ben Hitch. Terrific racing. Now there's an opportunity for George Friday. Is he going to get the move on the inside there of Carl Watt? I think he will get his chance. Really good racing, but Sam Faulkner is in the lead. Faulkner doing well. So this will be a really interesting battle. But Sam Faulkner leads comfortably at the moment. Second is Matthew Pearce. Third is Stansfield. Fourth is Demoleau. Evans is leading his charge of carts with Barlow and Massarella very close. Ian Williams in the mix too. Then it's Michael Roots from Rainbird and Bradbury having a great scrap over 10th place. On the live stream we're watching the battle between Evans, Barlow, Massarella and Williams as they jockey for position behind the second place battle. So this is for P5. Evans, Barlow, Massarella and Williams having a good little scrap there for 5th place and not quite able to make the difference on each other as yet. So closely matched, it's very hard to get on the back of somebody and go for the overtake. And of course a lot of drivers will be trying to look after their tyres a little bit because it's going to be very hot out there and the drivers are going to make the places they will make up based on their tyre life at the end of the race. So there could be quite a few changes towards the end of this one. But out in front, Sam Faulkner is making sure he keeps it in command. Looking good for the victory in the Super Elites. Second place, Matthew Pearce. Third is Tyrone Stansfield. Fourth place is Sam Demoleau. Well, Faulkner leads the way. Second place, no problem at all for Matthew Pearce. Stansfield in third. This is going to be such a tough battle for this weekend here at Clay Pigeon. It looks all done and dusted for Sam Faulkner up front. But this is only the first heat, don't forget. And he knows that by winning this one, he'll be on the outside line and therefore not quite have the same advantage as he had going into this one, being on the inside line for turn 1. He'll be on the other side of the grid, so Pearce can get him back in the pre-final, as it were, at the start, and try and build a similar advantage. Sam Faulkner just trying to put good points in the bag. Out in front in the heat, looking for the maximum points finish in the lead of the race. But there's still some good battles further back, and we're going to get to see a lot of them as we go into the final minute of this first race of the day. Sam Faulkner leads, no problems at all there. Matthew Pearce in second place, Stansfield in third. We're watching the leaders come through. But Faulkner with 35 plus 1 lap on the clock is your leader. Then it's Pearce, Stansfield, Dimolo. Then this battle for 5th place. Evans and Barlow have stretched away. Williams seems to have got the move done on Massarella. So that puts him up into P7. 5th place between Evans and Barlow is definitely going to be the close battle this time. But there should be some cracking racing between these guys as the racing develops. Up to the far side of the circuit. Is Stansfield going to be able to make that ultimate plunge on Pearce to get the move? Time is ticking down to 0. And there's going to be an interesting battle for second place on the last lap. We're out of time, and Sam Faulkner is about to start the last lap. Here we go for second place. Matthew Pearce has got a lot of work to do because Stansfield's got him on the run. Down the main straight. Dimolo's watching, keeping a watching brief in the charts. He might get through to second. Stansfield goes for Pearce. He's not close enough. Now, will Stansfield get another crack at that? That's the main question. Faulkner's got the win sorted, but is Stansfield going to be able to get past Pearce for second? This would be a great little battle if he can get there. Dimolo is sat right behind them, just in case. Stansfield is pushing, but I think he's going to run out of time. It's going to be Sam Faulkner who gets the win here. Out of the final turn, Sam Faulkner will be victorious. He crosses the line, takes the checkered flag, and that's the win for Sam Faulkner. Great race and a great drive. Pearce in second from Stansfield and Dimolo. Barry Barlow has got past Richard Evans on the last lap, and Barlow's got him for P5. Evans is 6th then, 7th for Williams, 8th for Massarella, Michael Roots and Jim Rainbird in the top 10 from Jason Bradbury and Dan Walden fighting his way back to 12th. Ben Hitch in 13th from Jonathan Corrie. Then it's Carl Watt from Neil Fisher, George Friday, Elliot Stanley, Aaron Banks and Sean Port, with Will Checkley coming back to 21st position. So Will Checkley makes it to 21st in the end. 22nd is Jamie Huddersett from Matt Ogle. Then it is Mark Lawrence, Dave Burns and Phil Patience. So great racing from the Super Elites then here in the 125 series. Really great racing. Once again, Sam Faulkner is your winner from Matthew Pearce. A 1.3 second gap. He's big in the heat. Second place Pearce, third Stansfield right behind him. Sam Dimolo just hanging back for 4th place. Harry Barlow in 5th. Richard Evans is 6th from Ian Williams and Tom Massarella. Roots and Rainbird. Then Jason Bradbury, Dan Walden in front of Ben Hitch and Jonathan Corrie. Then, of course, behind them we have Carl Watt, Neil Fisher, George Friday, Elliot Stanley, Aaron Banks and Sean Port rounding out the 20 with Will Checkley, Jamie Huddersett, Matt Ogle, Mark Lawrence, Dave Banks, David Darling and Phil Patience finishing off the 27 kart grid. An amazing run from the Birelart Super Elites 125, and that is all of the heats finished for the weekend. We now go into the pre-finals after our lunch break when the serious race action for big points will begin. So if you're listening via Downforce UK, no problem at all. If you're watching via the Birelart UK Series Facebook page, no problem at all, because we will be back just a little bit later on in the afternoon. We're going to have a breather here at Clay Pigeon, so we're having our lunch. We recommend you have yours, and then when we come back, we will be ready for more action-packed racing here at the Clay Pigeon circuit in the gorgeous Dorset countryside, where the cadets, juniors and Super Elites will fight twice more to see who will take away the big pots on the podium at the end of the racing. See you a little bit later on.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.